before we really get going, is there anything you don't want me to bring up or ask about?
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm still not going to bring up the porn stuff.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Sorry. Oh, did you see the? Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is the.
Oh.
I caught you off guard, didn't I?
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to the Silly Goofy podcast, the show where I regret the name every time. No,
I
not
think
really.
it's great.
No, I love and hate the name. Just because I'm like, it's funny because it's like, oh yeah, we're like just being fucking dumb, and I have the Silly Goofy podcast in like death metal font, because I love that. But then every time I say it out loud, I'm like, oh god, I should have named it literally anything else.
You know what I love is like the death metal font is so illegible, and like the one meme where it's just a pile of sticks.
Yeah, it's like, this is my favorite band. I love those.
I want a T-shirt with that.
With the
with the sticks or a silly goofy.
That's a perfect segue. So if you notice, I'm wearing a Tooter shirt.
Team Tooter.
Okay.
Well, what?
This is Delia. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Just hit the bullet points. Don't give away too much.
Okay, sure. So I was born in 1986. Oh, the bullet points. All right, I'm Delia. I'm a stand-up comedian in Binghamton, New York. I also do online content. Specifically, I like to post funny fart videos and fart on my live streams. I'm on TikTok, Team Tooter. That's our organization. And I'm also a musician. I've been playing for 25 years, guitar, and I should be a lot better, as I was telling John. But been in a lot of bands, big metal enthusiast.
Hell yeah.
And I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Yep.
I know it was like super short notice. I was just like, hey, I know we like barely talk, but like, you want to be on my podcast tomorrow?
I'm like, yep, let me bring you a T-shirt. I'll bring you a lav mic.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, she literally brought You're the first person that brought gifts, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
She brought me this shirt. She brought me a pair of drumsticks, which is cool. Brought me like a lav mic thing, which I am definitely going to use at some point. Like I'm actually genuinely excited about that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned the shirts and everything. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You're famous for farting. I'm famous for burping.
Yeah. Guys like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell, like, my tutors, shout out, like 95% are men. And then the main age range is 25 to 34. Those are my people.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that age range is like, haha, fart's still funny.
Well, and also, I mean, like, it's a kink thing now, so I kind of I lean into it. And, yeah, so, like, whatever reason you're, like, basically what I say is you come for the farts, you stay for the laughs.
You come for the farts and you stay for the wholesome moments along with the farts. No,
yeah, and the life lessons, the hot takes.
The farts are the friends we made along the way. That's so corny. Oh, did you see the guy over there? The mannequin? There's a mannequin behind the camera.
It says cuck.
Yes, okay, I'm glad you saw that. I was going to make the joke, it's like, oh, that's the cuck chair.
Should we bring him over here?
Yeah, you want to, go ahead.
Yeah.
So, for the setup and everything behind the camera is a mess, and this is like a little bit less of a mess. But yeah, this is our, oh yeah, he's going to be right here with us.
Yeah, hey, cuck. Right in the middle, just watching.
Yeah.
You have no part in this.
Perfect. That's
perfect.
I love
for
that.
a
Actually,
cuck.
that's really funny.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm back on the mic.
It's the cuck chair.
It's a cuck chair.
We have two chairs actually. We have a chair from my couch that it just doesn't fit in our living room really.
Yeah.
We just got a new couch recently. Which, hey Bridget and Sean, thanks for the couch. Some of our friends just moved recently to Florida, and they're like, we got to get rid of stuff. You want our couch?
Yeah. That's a nice couch.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it. And that's actually, we're going to visit them in April, and it's going to be my first time ever flying on a plane.
Now it's not a really good time.
I know, and that sucks. I was like all excited about it. I was like, cool, I'm finally going to be on a plane. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, there's been like 13 plane crashes. I'm like, I straight up told her, I'm like, Evie, I love you. But I straight up told her, I was like, hey, like if things don't get much better, I don't know if I'm going to be able to physically bring myself to get on a plane. Because I have way too much anxiety about it in the first place.
Yeah.
Let alone if there's like multiple plane crashes and people dying. I'm not a huge fan of that, but...
Well, hopefully, the FAA won't like get totally gutted before that time.
Hopefully.
But, all right, so I'm well connected. I have a friend who's a captain for Delta. He's a pilot. So I asked him, what the hell happened? Let's find out. All right, shout out Scotty. I call him Lavish.
I feel like this is going to be a bit. Even if it is, keep going, please.
All right. He said, you see the video from the plane holding short of the runway next to depart? The person in the right seat just happened to be filming that landing. Looks like they got a little gust, but failed to flare at all. Just drove it right into the ground, collapsed in the right main gear, snapped that wing off, probably from the strut piercing right through it, leaving a left wing still attached that's doing wing things and producing lift and rolling them right over. And that's when the meme firestorm set off. So, yeah, dude knows what he's talking about. And he's like, wing things. And I'm like, wing things is my favorite font. So if anybody needs insider information
Yeah,
about,
she's got it all.
Yeah, about pilots.
I sincerely thought this was gonna be like a bit that you like do in stand up or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, when is it coming? But then, I mean, it was still funny. But now I'm like overthinking. I was just like, am I gonna overthink everything that comes out of her mouth as like a joke? But
Well, no, I mean, like I'm like always joking.
oh, same, yeah.
So it's hard. It's like
Yeah.
people don't know if you're serious or not.
Yeah.
So if you are getting real, you have to like legit be like no joke or
Yeah,
for real.
yeah. I feel like if I'm having a conversation with somebody or like a group of people and like a serious matter comes up, even saying that it's going to be serious, I say in a joking way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be taught like for my job, I'm a transportation peer, and so I'll be driving people places. Excuse me. I thought that was gonna be
No,
loud.
I love it. Keep going. I'll fart if I can. All right.
I'll be driving people and stuff like that, like taking them wherever, and like sometimes like if it's people that I don't know that well or like I'm getting to know, they'll like tell me about their like story and everything because I work for an addiction center, so like we talk about like substance use and stuff.
Man,
like
they
that.
got stories.
Oh yeah.
I got stories too if you
Yeah.
want to go into drugs.
Oh.
Drugs rule, but in moderation.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I
It's
totally
okay.
go. Okay.
But yeah, I'll be saying something. They'll be talking about something that happened, and I'll be able to relate in some way. So like to preface, I was just like, I'm gonna get deep for a second, and I'll purposely like flip my hair that I don't have. It's stupid. Because the other day I was just like, I started getting like really deep about something, but it was 8:30 in the morning. They had like just woken up recently, and I was like, sorry to get so deep at 8 in the morning. I've been up since 6.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's it explains the delivery. So
Yeah. I feel like I have to. It drives Evie crazy, but like I don't realize how much I'm not serious about like anything, and how much that I'm just always trying to make her laugh and make other people laugh. So like I'm just, for lack of a better word, dumb.
No.
I use humor a lot, and so I like go out of my way to do stupid shit to make her laugh. And most of the time, sometimes it gets a laugh, and then other times she just looks at me like,
But
please stop.
so the joke is just for you, honestly, and like it's sort of like vomit. Once you think it, you can't not say it.
Yeah.
So it's
it
really
eats away at me if I don't say it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reflex. Like for me, joking, it's like food, water, shelter, making people laugh. Like I
The basic
get off
necessities
on that.
you need.
Yeah.
Your basic needs being met.
Yeah, I think in puns, like I can't turn it off if I wanted to. I'm like the little Dutch boy, whose hand is cut off, so he can't plug up the dike. All
I
right.
don't know this bit.
Oh no, that's okay. That's all right.
Okay, so I do want to talk to you about comedy and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't have any questions written out.
That's okay.
Because I was like, I could write some, but I kind of want it to be like more organic and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you said, how long have you been doing comedy? Like, how long have you been doing stand-up?
15 years.
Nice, okay.
But so like I always put music first. I
Mhm.
was always in bands, so like comedy was just kind of like a little bit of a side hustle, fall off the map for a few years, come back in. But yeah, like I always wanted to be a rock star. I
Nice.
love guitar. But man, I'll tell you what, being in bands is hard.
Yeah, I love it, but it sucks.
You have to rely on a lot of people, and they have to be all in.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
and drummers, they're always in like 3 other bands. But yeah,
It's painful because it's true. The drummer of this band, Guilt and Gloom, he was in. It's gonna be a lot of squeaks. He was in like not even joking, like 3, maybe 4 bands at the same time, and I love you, buddy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, hey, can we do this? And he's like, I have too much stuff going on. I was like, stop being in 4 bands.
yeah.
But yeah, I put tape on the back of my chair so it wouldn't squeak, but it's still squeaking. That's okay.
Wait, let's see if we could do something. Let me put my hat behind you.
I could get like a shirt or a towel or something.
All right, lean back, buddy.
Lean back.
Yep.
Like Fat Joe.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm glad. That's the second time I've made that reference this week, and I haven't thought about Fat Joe in years.
Now you're gonna have a Fat Joe dream.
Yeah. What's the weirdest dream you've had?
Oh, God, I had a really weird one recently. It was a Tom Segura event party, and I was like kind of seeing him like in a romantic way.
Hell yeah.
And like John Hamm was there playing guitar. Yo, John Hamm had hot dog hands. Dude was up and down the fret. He was doing
what are hot
sweeps.
dog hands? Just like really
Hot
thick?
dog hands is when you show off on the fret.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
I was thinking like sausage fingers. Like fat fingers. I was like, is that like another term for
but that too, they were like huge hands, and he was just tearing it up and down. Yeah, he was shredding.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know he had this in him.
That's cool.
But yeah, I have weird dreams.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think my weirdest dream, I remember it vividly. It was... I keep feeling like I'm going to burp. I'm sorry.
No, please. You burp, I fart.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
I'm going to have to get I'm going to make a spoof, of this shirt. Instead of Tooter, it's going to say burper.
Let's just cross it out with Sharpie.
Yeah, just Sharpie.
Yeah. Okay.
No, so my weirdest dream was, it was Ray Toro from My Chemical Romance.
That's funny already.
Yeah. And Keanu Reeves.
Okay, that's...
Both of them were in, like a gi, I think is the term, from, like, jujitsu.
Oh.
They both were wearing gis, sitting at, like, a really rickety table that you would see in, like, a vet's hall or something like that, playing chess or checkers. I don't remember which one, but they were doing that, all while in front of a green screen that was just showing slow-motion footage of the Millennium Falcon.
How long did that...
None of these things are related in any way.
Like, did it feel like a long moment in time, like eternity, or just
It felt
fleeting?
too long.
Yeah.
I felt like I was asleep for too long experiencing this.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I wonder like where that came from in your life.
Dude, I don't know. I have dreams that are really weird, and then dreams that are like horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like not even dreams, but just like kind of going back to flying and like and everything. I've mentioned before, I have an not irrational, like kind of an irrational fear of death, in the sense of like, I've woken up in like mid panic attack before. Like I'll be about to fall asleep, and my brain will just be like, "You're gonna die someday," and I'll like wake up like in sweat, like.
Wow, I'm the opposite. I
Really?
embrace death.
Yeah.
I do not fear death. I fear pain.
Oh, yeah,
but
pain
death
sucks.
is inevitable. So
Yeah. I'm just like, man, I know that I'm gonna die someday, and that sucks, and that's scary. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
it's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much, yeah.
So I've determined that like there is really no purpose in life, and we're not meant to
Nothing
know
is
everything. Yeah, So like just
Fuck it.
my thing is be a good person and have fun.
Yeah.
That's it.
Try to be a decent person just because it's the right thing to do. Don't
Yeah.
be a dick. Unless someone deserves it, then be a dick. I don't care.
Yeah,
All right, so yeah, back to comedy. You've been doing it for 15 years, you said?
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so like when you are like, could you set up stuff at the Bundy for like open mics or whatever, right?
Yeah, I do
Okay.
open mics.
When you're like, I assume that I might sound very ignorant to this whole thing, so forgive me if I do. But like, so when you're getting ready to like do something, it's like, is it kind of like acting where like you need to get into a headspace to get ready, or are you just kind of like, I'm just gonna go out there and just talk?
It's a little bit of both. Like I
Okay.
kind of have a plan about something silly, like how to kick it off. Last time I had a mic 2 nights ago, I made everybody do the Pledge of Allegiance. The mic before that, we had like a corporate team building exercise where I had everybody, the comics and the people in the crowd, excuse me, say their name and an adjective that starts with the first letter of their name. So
That's like
I'm
way more thought went into it than I thought it would be.
well,
But I love
it's
it.
like
That's
so.
really funny.
I'm Delia, douchebaggy.
Okay.
So you're John. What's your J? There's not a lot of J
Yeah,
words.
I'm cursed with a bad name. No.
Yo, so many
A
J
J
names, like no J words.
Yeah. Juice bag. No, that's bad.
Douchebag.
Well, like jumpy, jittery.
Yeah, jittery, yeah.
Jittery, yeah. I'm an anxious person.
All right, that works.
I just had a thought of when I was jittery. Like I was trying to think of like when was I actually jittery? There was one time, quick thing, I got stung by a bee when I was younger, and I'm like very allergic. Apparently, I don't know to what, but I got a really bad allergic reaction. I got hives around my eyes and my mouth. I looked like
Yo,
that.
that sucks.
Yeah, it sucked. I was also like 13 at the time, like 12 or 13. So I was like, am I gonna die? But I went to the hospital and they had to give me 2 different shots. One was to like make me like calm and like sleepy essentially.
So up your butt?
I had one in each ass cheek.
Oh.
One made me sleepy and one made me jittery. So I remember waking up from a nap after that, like in the hospital. I woke up from a nap and I'm just like twitching like this. It was so weird. But yeah, so
That's
sorry.
a good mix.
Yeah, I was like, why in each of my ass cheeks? Whatever. But yeah, so like you have do you have like you said you have like themes, or I guess that would be like kind of a theme?
It's kind of a new thing that I've started.
Okay.
I just like togetherness. I get off on making the crowd boo at me. And like I'll tell a really bad joke just for that because I feel like it's solidarity. How often do you get together with a group of people and you all boo together?
Yeah.
Like it's a fun feeling.
Yeah.
So I'll tell
People should do that more often. No.
yeah, no, for real. Let's go to the post office. Everybody goes boo. But so like I purposefully tell a dumb joke like for example, what do you call a Jamaican what do you call a Jamaican PR person? A spokesman. Boo.
Boo! Boo! Okay, no, that's good.
I'd go around.
That's so bad that it's funny.
Thank you. I'd also go around the crowd telling people how they're gonna die because I have this
don't do that to me.
superpower. Oh yeah, that's true. I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I will start crying on the podcast.
You're gonna live forever.
That's somehow worse. No.
Yeah, that does sound.
Have
kinda
you ever
scared.
like if you don't mind me asking, what's the worst that you've bombed?
Oh.
Like worst that you've bombed in the sense of where you're like, oh fuck, what am I doing? Kind of thing. Because I've had plenty of shows like that.
Mm-hmm. In the moment, I don't know, like I wouldn't consider it bombing, but then afterwards, it like the realization sets in. I would say in Ithaca, last year, it was at the Hopshire packed room, must have been like 90 people, and I got wasted. And so my new
That's always a
policy,
good plan.
dude, I'm not funnier when I'm drunk. It takes me forever to say things. I go off script and stuff. So I do have a new policy. It's don't joke and drink, and I'm way better at it.
That's good.
I just love beer, though. I'm Irish, can you tell? I'm like, oh, it's a
Yeah, the
cultural
love
thing.
of beer and the red hair definitely didn't give it away.
Yep. Oh man, I have tons of redhead jokes too. Like people ask me if the carpets match the drapes, aka like if
Yeah.
I'm a natural redhead, and I'm like, hey, you ever look at the sunrise through a dirty windshield? That's what it looks like. So no, they don't match. Or conversely, ever look at a bale of hay in the sunset? That's what it looks
It's just
like.
all prickly all over the place.
Yeah. Something got my contact. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you need to take a second?
Yeah, why not?
All right, we're gonna pause real quick. Yeah, I only do medications or anything like that if it's prescribed. But yeah, I was on Adderall for a bit, which I didn't mind Adderall. It's just like the side effects were really shitty. I don't know why I keep looking at the camera like this is gonna be in.
This should be in, actually.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
I was on Adderall for a bit, but like the side effects were really bad. It gave me like insomnia is the worst one. That's been like the side effect of every medication I've been on.
Well, stimulants. Yeah, you may as
Yeah.
well be all coked out.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was like super. I had really bad insomnia. I had bloody stool, which was not fun. It also gave me like really weird like ED.
Oh no, that's not
like-
that's
like-
not good.
Yeah. But and like the only thing that I was like fine with was like the appetite suppression, which like this is not healthy. But I was like, oh, I'm not hungry. Cool. I'm gonna like starve myself and lose some weight because I got this fucking thing.
No, you look,
Which
you
is
look
not-
beefy, dude.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
swole.
No, no, thank you. But yeah, so I had that, but I switched from that. I was gonna try something else, and I remember taking Ritalin when I was younger. So I was like, oh, the
Yeah.
doctor asked if I would be okay with trying Ritalin. I said yes. I tried it, and within the first week, I was like, so I work with like a vulnerable population for my job,
Yeah.
and so it's that is one of those things where it's like since they're already in a vulnerable population and like in those vulnerable positions, we kind of have to be like extra cautious, not cautious, like extra on point, I guess.
Sensitive.
Yeah, like extra sensitive and like more like focused in the sense of like make sure you don't like do or say anything that could be like triggering or harmful for them.
Right.
Um, and so while I'm like transporting people, I'm noticing that I have to bite my tongue so much because every little thing that people say, I just get so fucking mad at. Like somebody will say something not even bad, and I'm just like, don't fucking talk to me. Like it was bad. So I don't do Ritalin anymore. And then I took atomoxetine, and my dick shrunk.
I've never heard of that.
Like that one was weird. Atomoxetine made me have like opposite ends of the spectrum for like side effects. I would get like hot flashes, but then 5 minutes later I'd have a cold chill.
I'm sorry, but I stopped listening to what you were saying because I thought of a pun. And
Okay.
actually,
No,
I
keep
did.
going, keep going.
Adamoxetini tiny dick.
Yes,
That's
that's what it was.
Yeah, that's the Latin term for it.
But
that
the literal
sucks.
Latin translation.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
You're straight edge.
Yes.
Hardcore, that's what's up. How long
Fuck
have you
yeah.
been living the straight edge life? Or were you always?
No, I like tried things when I was like in my early teens, mainly because of peer pressure. I didn't want to necessarily, but like all my friends smoked. Like we're 15, we don't need to be smoking right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like they all smoked cigarettes and like smoked weed and stuff like that. And then when they got like a little bit older, they would drink and whatnot. I never really wanted to.
But it was just what your friends were doing.
It was what my friends
It was
did.
there.
Yeah, like it was what my friends did. And this is like not corny, but kind of corny. But like back then, I was more invested in my Christian faith. You know what I mean? Like back then I was like
yeah,
really
we
into
gotta
it.
talk about Christian metal.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get
Oh, yeah,
there.
because we already started to a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like at that point, I didn't really know much about it, so I was kind of just like, and this is not healthy, but I was kind of living my life in fear of what God would think of me when I was a teenager. You know, when I was a young teenager, and that's not how anybody should live. So I was like, I can't drink beer. God will be mad at me, or I can't smoke weed. You know, like it was one of them. But I also just didn't really want to. But I didn't know there was a word for it. I remember like going to parties and stuff and just getting shit on because I wasn't drinking or smoking. And I'm like, I try to explain like I just don't want to. And they're like, why are you here then? I'm like, I'm with my friends. I don't know.
Yo,
it was weird. But then I was 18. I remember the day that I claimed. I don't remember the exact day, but I remember it was Tyler Reed.
Oh yeah,
Teabag.
of course, yeah.
Do you remember the Heisman?
Second Suitor, by the way, a good band. Check them out.
Sucks. Okay, I'm in that band. I can say that. But do you remember the Heisman Hopefuls by chance?
No.
That was the band that that he was in when I met him.
Oh, okay. Pop punk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They played Warped Tour before. That's
Whoa.
fucking sick. Yeah. I got to that. I was like super excited. I was like, these are my friends. I'm going to see them at Warped Tour. And we pulled into the parking lot like as they finished their set. I was so bummed out. But it was the Heisman Hopefuls reunion show, I think it was, and their drummer Tom Towner, who was the drummer of Guilt and Bloom, he's straight edge, and he like talked to me about it, and I remember I claimed edge on that day, and I told him, I was like, hey Tom, I made the decision, I'm straight edge now, and he was like, fuck yeah, brother, let's go get a soda or something like that.
Yo, straight edge is proud.
We walked across the street over to the gas station.
You know what? I love drugs. I think that they're fascinating. Anything that can make you feel different or think differently, it's cool with me. But damn, Gorilla Biscuits, gotta get down. I have lots of props for straight edge people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, some of I remember first getting into hardcore music through Have Heart. They were in my eyes, they were the quintessential straight edge hardcore band. And that kind of made me be like, oh fuck, because I was
Was that when you were 18?
Yeah, it was around that time, yeah. And I remember because back then and I still love these bands, but I was into The Devil Wears Prada, Bring Me the Horizon, Job for a Cowboy.
Dude, I have a great Devil Wears Prada
All right. Didn't you say you got kicked out of one of their shows or something?
I got kicked out of an August Burns Red show, which makes me really happy. All right, so real quick, August Burns Red. Nobody I know listens to our type of music or knows who that is. So I take great pride in just saying, I got kicked out of a Christian rock show for spitting in a girl's hair.
What'd you spit in her hair for?
So I had a good spot right by the stage, and then she just comes barreling in and elbows me, and I'm like, hey, and then she was like, fuck you. So
She barrels in. I can just imagine her barreling into you, and you just going, hey.
Yo, I'm a really chill person,
Hmm.
but I'm like punk rock. So back in the day, I used to take it from 0 to 100.
Real
Like,
quick.
yeah. Like I did not shy away from confrontation. I've been kicked out of a lot of
Couldn't be me.
shows. So yeah, in retaliation, I continuously spit in the back of her head. Um, at the same time, though, punk rock spitting is sometimes a sign of
Oh yeah,
respect.
yeah. Especially in I feel like in like the California scene, or maybe it was like California or the UK, maybe both. I don't know. I'm stupid. I don't know anything. But I feel like that was like a big part of it. Was like if the crowd liked you, they would spit on the band, and I'm like, that's odd, but also cool as hell.
Yeah, we're just dirty punks and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. So yeah, I got picked up by a huge security guard. But right before then, somebody in security grabbed my phone when he saw me spitting in her hair, and I
Took a
got
selfie.
kicked out. Yeah, right. But they can't take my property. So my ex-husband, who was there with me, he called the cops on security
Jesus.
to get my. So everybody, PSA. You can call the cops on security.
Yeah.
Security
Fuck it.
is like high and mighty. Cops come in and they're like, you can't do this. And they're like, oh, I got to
I'm
listen to
sorry,
you.
sir.
And that wasn't the first time calling calling cops on like event staff.
There was one time. Sorry. There was one time. It was me and my buddy Brian. We went up to Albany. I think the venue was Northern Lights.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're familiar with that. We went to Northern Lights. It was. I think we saw the Devil Wears Prada actually. I don't.
Oh, yeah. I saw Devil Wears Prada and friggin' A Day to Remember in
Nice.
Syracuse.
Really.
And the venue, like the bathroom was right by the stage. So I went to the bathroom and then I walked on stage and I got to dance on stage with the
Nice.
Devil Wears Prada.
That's
I
it.
think they thought I was one of the guy's girlfriends, but I'm just like a random person.
I'm just here.
Yep. And then my friend got punched in the face during Day to Remember, so we left.
Damn. There
Yeah.
was What was I just saying? Oh yeah, we went to see. It was some. It might have been I Set My Friends on Fire.
I set my friends on
Yeah.
fire, but once Nabil Moo left, I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah.
like
I
astral
honestly
rejection.
only know what's the one with the normal on it? Like slaughter.
Oh, you can't spell
spell
laughter without
slaughter.
slaughter. Or
Yeah,
slaughter without
yeah,
laughter.
that one, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
My bad. Hey, in case anybody from Issimfoff sees this. My bad. But yeah, so I think it was after that album. I think I listened to like one or two songs that they released, but then I kind of just like didn't forget about them, but I was like really bad at sticking with bands. I just jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember I think it was them and like Attack Attack.
Oh, that's great. I love like the synth hardcore or synth metalcore
Like
Nintendo
Icy
core.
Stars, A Thousand Dead
Friggin'
Rabbits.
Horse the Band.
Oh, yep.
Horse the Band is so August Burns Red is my first favorite band of all time, and
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
yeah.
like that's like what really got me into metal. Like it changed my life. Like 21, I've been there since the beginning, like since Thrill Seeker, and they're
You
still
just you heard that
around.
they just released like a redone version of Thrill Seeker?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, back when they Dustin and Jake weren't even in the band yet, so it's like it's literally the soundtrack to my life.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think it's funny because like people look at me and they can't like they don't know that I'm like so heavy
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
don't. You don't fit the mold of the stereotypical like metal girl
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
And just like talking to you, it's like holy shit, somebody gets these references. So
Yeah,
it's
literally
nice.
the first conversation that we ever had. I think I invited you. I think I invited you to a show, or you invited me to an open mic thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember you said some. I looked up the messages earlier today to try to remember it, but I already forgot. But it was like we were talking about that, and we got on the subject of August Burns Red, and I think you were like, gun to your head, favorite August Burns Red album.
Oh, and we
and-
had to do least favorite.
Was it
Or
the
no,
favorite?
I'm sorry. No, please go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, you were like, gun to your head, what's your favorite August Burns Red album?
Gun to your head. Okay,
And
yeah.
I remember you saying that because I started to make a joke in my head. I was like, gun to my head, just fucking do it. But I was like, maybe not yet.
Well, yeah, this episode is brought to you by Pain and Anguish.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect segue.
What was your answer? I don't remember.
It was Messengers.
Oh, Messengers.
Because like I heard like a little bit of Thrill Seeker beforehand, like Barbarian and Your Little Suburbia's in Ruins. Those are like the only ones
Endorphins.
Well, those are like the only ones that I knew at that point.
Yeah.
But I listened to Messengers like
That album's a
front to
banger.
back. It's so
There's
good.
no skip tracks.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have like hardly any skip tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, Messengers like that really solidified
They
them.
just released a new song a little while ago. I don't remember what it's called, but there's one breakdown that is just hard.
Yo,
The one
like
that's like, my demons died today. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. It made me do a stank face in my car. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but breakdowns are the most like moving thing to me. Like just change in the time signature, like getting it down. Like there's a feeling with that.
Yeah, if it makes me have a stink face and makes me want to like put my head through a wall, I'm all for it.
Yeah, or like I like get a bounce. Like August Burns Red stuff, that's the only music I can dance to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like as rigid as a biscotti. But I just like feel it like I'm bouncing around.
Yeah, I used to mosh like a lot when I was younger. I like, started push moshing and everything, obviously. And then when I got older and I was like, I want to be a hardcore kid.
Oh,
was
throwing
like,
bows,
yeah,
roundhouses.
I was like, I want to start swinging. And so like I started to do that, and I still like doing it. I still like moshing and everything, but like I just don't usually. I think the last time I actually like moshed somewhere was it was the final Tid this season. R.I.P. Every time I die. They are my favorite band, and just I'm so sad that they broke up. But it was Tid the season. It was I think End was playing. End is so good. They're just disgusting. But like I remember I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna mosh. And I went and moshed, swinging, whatever, did my thing, and then I got my shit rocked. Someone just fucking hit me in the head so hard.
That's a chance you take.
Oh yeah, I was like, I know it's gonna happen, fuck it. But I think that was the last time that I like really moshed. I don't remember exactly. Like I probably have like at local shows a little bit here and there, but
Yeah.
other than that, I'm in mosh retirement.
Yeah.
I just don't know what I'm doing anymore, and I'm old.
I aged out. I'm definitely to the side. And it was so weird. Like, I was talking about fighting or something, and I said, this is my words of wisdom, but the most important part about fighting is knowing how to take a punch. And I'm like, where did I learn that from? Oh, the pit. Like, you go in there, you have to expect to get hurt.
Yeah. There was one time, I think it was Johnny Booth. Johnny Booth fucking rules. If you get a chance to listen to them, they're so good. Speaking of Johnny Booth, hey Herman, come on the podcast, please.
Yes, Herman, we need you now.
Please. Now. No. I think I'm pretty sure it was Johnny Booth playing, but it was in Oneonta, and it was also the day before one of my best friends. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna like walk and hitchhike to like Nashville or something like that, and we're like, sure. But it was before he went on his trip, and we were at a show in Oneonta, and there was a person there that I used to be very good friends with that I think, at the time, I thought he didn't really like me anymore. You're fine, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
You can make noise. Whatever.
Just looking for this bad boy.
Oh, looking for this bitch.
They like care about kids vaping, like the sweet stuff, and it's like, what about 39-year-old women? Like,
yeah, where's our
yeah,
flavor?
Nobody's advocating
Where's
for us.
our flavor?
Yes, us 39. How old are you, by the way?
32. I'm gonna
32?
be 33 next month. And, oh god, like 2 weeks.
That's the age Jesus was when he died.
Well, you heard it here. I'm gonna.
I gotta stop talking about death.
No, it's okay.
And I gotta stop derailing you.
No, you're fine. I've already derailed you a bunch.
Oh, that's okay.
A bunch? A few times, I think.
We should have a spin-off podcast called Derailment and just cut each other off, not finish any stories.
So if you want to do something like that was me cutting you off. But no, so we were at a show in Oneonta. Hey, look at my slippers. These are my girlfriend's.
Very nice.
We were at a show in Oneonta, and I remember, like, moshing a little bit, whatever, and then I, like, I just, like, spun around, did whatever, and then I stood there, and then I got hit in the head so fucking hard, and I just, like, in an instant was on the ground flat. But the person that did it is somebody that I used to be good friends with, and at the time I thought didn't like me anymore.
So, like, they did it on purpose?
I thought that maybe they did. Mm-hmm. So I was like, if it's this person, I can't show that it hurt. So I just got up, and I was, on the outside, I was just like, it was fine. But on the inside, I was just...
You probably got a concussion.
I have gotten a concussion before. I was in Albany at Kidney Mosh. I literally wasn't even, like, in the pit. I was in the back, and some dude was just, like, threw his arm behind him like that and just connected on the top of my head. Yeah, that sucked. And then I had to drive home that night the people that I went with, like, she wanted me to drive, and then I went home and I slept for like 13 hours.
Was it because they were drinking?
No, they just didn't like driving at night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't anything super
Well,
exciting.
I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, me too. Well, no.
Yeah.
All right, so back to comedy, and kind of going back on the August Burns Red thing. You were like, gun to your head, favorite album or whatever, and I was like, just fucking do it if you got a gun to my head. But then you were talking about like the show you were doing and everything, and you asked me if you were like, hey, do you and Tyler want to like come up and do some like stand up or whatever? And I was like, you mean do jokes in front of people?
Well, you guys always do jokes like during your sets.
I know, yeah, and that's actually kind of funny. Like, after seeing the thing that we went to that you did, I'm gonna move this real quick. Don't mind me. After going to your thing that I went to, I was like, maybe I could try this at some point. So I started to think of like bits that I could do or whatever, and I was just gonna use the fact that like I'm out of my comfort zone to my advantage. I had the whole thing planned, like how the why do they hold the mic by the very, very bottom when people do stand up? Have you noticed that?
Yes, and
Is there a reason?
There is sorta, because if you hold the mic up close right to your mouth, people can't see your face.
Oh, okay.
So like holding it down here kind of keeps it down low.
Okay.
Because musicians like us, we like to just like eat the mic and be like, "Rah." But it's like totally different. You don't want to obscure your face. Although it does look kind of cheesy or I don't know, hacky. Good question.
Yeah, I am interested in like the science behind it and everything. But yeah, I remember you were saying that, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do that, something like that. So I started to kind of like make a bit, and I had a whole thing planned where I was gonna be like, hold on, I need to have a prop.
Okay.
This is my other microphone.
Oh, green.
Yeah.
Whoa, you're
Green.
ready for St. Patrick's Day.
I'm Irish.
Yeah.
I
I'm the Protestants. You're the Catholics.
Oh God, don't make me be a Catholic.
Oh, don't make me be the Protestant.
Aren't they the ones that like did the kid touching?
They are. Yeah, we could have a whole three-parter about the injustices of the IRA. I'm actually my great grandfather was in the IRA and had to flee the nation because.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a story for another time. But up the raw, check your law.
Gesundheit.
All right, let's do this bit.
Yeah, I had a bit. I was just like something along the lines of like, I have the notes on my phone. If I could only grab it, I was gonna say something like, hey, like I'm not used to being up here. Like I'm not used to being up here with no instruments. I'm used to being up here like with an instrument in my hand, looking like an idiot, instead of just having a mic in my hand, looking like an idiot. And then I was like, so I'm gonna treat the next 25 minutes as a hardcore show, and then I was gonna like pretend to like. I don't know. It sounds funnier in my head, and then I do it out loud, and it doesn't land.
Well, good thing you only get 5 minutes at an open mic.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically just gonna be like, so to ease my nerves, I'm gonna pretend that I'm playing a show, and I was just gonna like get down and crouch and like pretend to do the
do it all silently.
Yeah,
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, it's a bit. But yeah, I remember I was like, maybe I could do that. But yeah, so. Back to comedy, because that's like mainly what we were going to talk about, comedy and music.
Well, actually, so this is one of the reasons why I love comedy, because being in bands and being a musician, I got so tired of carrying my gear around. Like, comedy is awesome. You just bring yourself.
You just show up.
Yeah, so, like, I'm carrying my amp, like, my stuff. Like, drummer's nowhere to be found. I'm setting up his set. Like, friggin' drummers.
Aaron. No, I'm kidding. Aaron's great. Aaron is my drummer. He's great.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, friggin' drummers, they're either in a bunch of bands or they're off doing cocaine. Like, they're wild cards. I love drummers.
Couldn't be me.
No. Straight edge.
Yeah, hell yeah. I've talked about it before. Like I have mentioned before that like I love playing drums, but I love guitar more. But like I grew up playing drums. My dad, I remember my dad bought a drum set when I was like 14, and it was like a grand reveal. He like had a blanket over. He's like, "Hey, I got something to show you, a little surprise."
That's awesome.
And he took the blanket off, and I was like, "Whoa, you got me a drum set?" And he was like, "I got us a drum set. It's not just for you." But yeah, like he taught me like he was like, this is what the hi-hat does, like, and this is the ride cymbal, he kind of gave me like a quick overview,
all the parts,
me, like,
all the names.
Yeah, he like told me the parts and what everything was, and he was like, you do this if you want to do this, you kind of thing. And then he taught me like a simple kind of beat, and then after that, like I learned everything just by ear. But guitar I just kind of like picked up and was just like fucking around with one day. And I just have a lot more. I think because I'm able to play like the kind of music that I want in the sense of like
Melody.
like
And
yeah, like
chugs.
melody and like I don't need to worry about playing really complicated things because the style of music I play doesn't call for that.
Ah, okay.
Whereas like with Second Suitor stuff, I'm just like this is great and I have fun and I love it, but like I want to do certain things that I can't do anymore. Like I'm just not at that level anymore.
Oh my God, like I was just thinking that like people ask like, "Oh, would you ever do like guitar while you're doing your comedy set?" There's absolutely no way cuz I write songs that are too hard for me to play.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get up there and like not be able to play and not have a band to cover my ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's a good thing about a band is like if you fuck up, like you got people around you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
What
it's
kind of music
something.
did you play?
So I would say like it's hard to describe. I guess easycore.
Okay.
So yeah, like we'd have breakdowns, chugs, lots of different
Oh,
parts
okay,
and
easycore,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
is it like kind of like pop punky easy core stuff, or is it more like
More
less
like
pop punk stuff?
post rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What are some bands that like influenced you to like I like this kind of music, so like I'm gonna kind of write not like them, but like I guess like
Oh
them?
yeah, inspirations.
Yeah.
At the driving really got me
Okay.
into stuff like when I was 15. Shout out MTV2. that's a long time ago.
Yeah. Remember when MTV used to play music?
Yeah. Oh, all right. So I have a kid. When she was a little baby,
What? No, I'm
yeah. On MTV, they actually do play music videos. At least 4 years ago, but it was only on from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Saturday mornings. It was an hour block of pop music. That's when I really got into Lil Nas X.
Nice. Do you remember Pop Up Video?
Yes, I do.
Pop-up
Video.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
We could do
I'm really showing my
pop-ups.
age right here.
We could do pop-ups for the things that we're saying.
Oh God.
But no, like
Hey, remember earlier
podcasting.
when you were like, I'm gonna make it so there's not many edits in your video?
Yeah, I had a podcast, Blow Jam, for a long time,
Yep.
and podcasting's hard. Like you gotta do the edits, and like you gotta try to stick to a schedule. Like it's a lot. So
I thought I just heard my cat.
I
Yep, there it
commend
is.
you. Ah, kitty. Pretty
When
kitty.
you did the it was you and another person, right?
Yeah, my ex-husband.
Okay.
So it was also our band. That's why I really like.
That's right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're
yeah.
both music podcasts
Yeah.
in a sense. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I originally like when I first started doing this, I was originally like, I'm gonna try to like obviously everybody is welcome, obviously, but I was like, I know mainly musicians, but I would love to be able to like branch out into other forms of like entertainment and art and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I had somebody who's a wrestler. And speaking of wrestlers, still trying to get Tyler Reed on here to talk about Second Suitor and wrestling.
Why hasn't Tyler been
I don't
on
know.
yet?
I feel like it should have been easy by now. I'm calling you out.
Yeah.
No, I did talk to him about it before, but he's like, he does want to do it, but just like every time we start like try to plan it, it falls through. But it's just a bit at this point where I'm just like, why is one of my best friends that I talk to almost daily so hard to get on my podcast?
At least he shows up to practice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what matters the most.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I wanted to like get more people that were in other forms of entertainment and art and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I'm glad that you could come on. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I want to I keep meaning to get back to like comedy and everything. So, what made you want to start doing comedy? Do you just like making people laugh?
Yeah, like I can pinpoint it to one time in first grade. Our teacher was like saying something, and I made a joke about Homer Simpson, like a casual drop, like something about eating donuts, and the entire class laughed. And it's like,
This is my calling now.
yeah, the delivery, the fact that I'm 6 watching Simpsons, that's edgy. I was like, I just
Hell
want
yeah.
this. Yeah. And
Okay.
then South Park. So South Park, like, that changed my life.
Oh
like,
yeah.
My parents.
My dad showed me South Park.
I showed my dad South
Really?
Park when I was 11. And
Damn.
so my dad was like right when it came out. My dad was a cop, so he showed everybody at the police station. And so like they got hooked on South Park. The last movie my family saw all together was Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Nice.
And like that's where I learned that farts, you can have a setup to a punchline. Tooters. So it's not
Another
a
word
matter-
for fart is two.
like the Tooter vernacular. I just thought it was a cute name for
Mm-hmm.
my fans and followers, and then it turned into like an elite organization of fart
You
enthusiasts.
don't fuck with tutors, you
No,
hear me?
you don't. But everybody's welcome.
Yeah. Don't fuck with us, but come on in.
But yeah, so South Park, like, embrace the farts. Like, you don't have to just fart. Like, you could trick somebody or like set it up.
Mm-hmm.
And farts are like, I'd say mankind's oldest joke.
Yeah.
Jokes are surprises.
I feel like there was a bit in Family Guy. I feel like I've have this image in my head where it's like there's a bit in Family Guy, like a cutaway where it was like something like that. It's like, yeah, they're like the oldest form of comedy or something like that. And then it's like it cuts to like a caveman and he's like drawing on the wall of like him and his wife, and then it like shows him farting and then she falls over. Like three separate things, and then it just shows him and he goes, huh, or something like that. I could be wrong, but I have that in my head.
No, that makes perfect sense,
Yeah,
and that's
that is very
probably
Family
true.
Guy.
Yeah.
Family Guy was like I watched a lot of watched Simpsons when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Watched South Park as well when I was at my dad's house because he showed me South Park, and I remember him being
You're
like,
the cool dad.
Yeah,
He was
oh,
the
yeah.
cool parent.
yeah. I remember him being like, don't tell your mom I showed you this.
Oh, because your mom was
this-
probably Christian as fuck.
no, surprisingly no, other way around. Well, my dad isn't really Christian as fuck per se, but like his side of the family is more into like they are like more on that side of things, I guess.
Okay.
He you know he believes that and everything, but like he's one of those guys that's like, yeah, I believe this, and like I don't need to go to church every Sunday to prove it. I just keep it to myself, and I'm living my life like as a good person the best I can in that regard. And I'm like, respect.
So I'm wondering, basically, where did you get your religious or your early devout,
I
like,
don't know. Is that well? Maybe. So I remember when I was younger, I skateboarded a lot.
Cool.
I was the typical 15-year-old emo skater kid. Had like the swoopy hair. It was,
That's perfect.
It was horrible. Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's a picture. No, I'm kidding. No more edits. But I remember like I would skate at the elementary school in Unadilla, and there was one time some guy drove up, and he was just blaring War of Ages. I didn't know who that was at the time, but I was just like, "Ooh, heavy music, that's cool." And I think he came out of his car, and we were like, "Oh, hey, what are you listening to?" He was like, "Oh, that's they're called War of Ages." I was like, "Oh, cool. I like heavy music." And then he was like, "Hey, if you guys want, like, we're having youth group inside right now. If you want to come in." And I was like, "Cool, dude. That looks like." I mean, not at the time. I didn't really think of it, but I was like, "Dude, that looks like Jesus," and also like, because he had the long hair and the beard.
yeah.
I was like, "Dude, that looks cool," and also is blaring heavy music. Sure, I'll go in and try it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
The way that I would see it is the other way around. Like, parents who are devout are like, well, you can only listen to this if it's Christian music. But you got that first.
Yeah,
and
I
then
kind of
got
did it
in.
on my own.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, like I kind of discovered that stuff on my own, and like I didn't really like not believe beforehand, but like I didn't really like think about it much. But like at that point I was just like, oh yeah, I've always kind of felt this way, so this
Yeah.
is just kind of cool. So like I started to like get more into it then. But at the time, and this might be controversial, but like at the time, you know, I was younger, I was more impressionable and everything. After I graduated high school, I still believed it and everything, but like I always use the phrase like I developed my own brain. And so like I saw a lot of things that were directly involved with Christians and Christianity and religion and stuff like that. And I still believe to this day. I'm not saying that I'm like a great Christian by any means, because I'm not, but like I still have that.
You take the good parts with you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel conflicted about it a lot, because I'm like, this is what I believe, but also it's so hard. I feel conflicted because I'm like, there's so much like bad and negativity involving this, and there's a lot of things about it that like I just can't fully get behind.
Yeah.
Like, I'm half gay, and I can't fully back something that a lot of people think that like gay people shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
You know?
Shameful. It's a sin.
It's like you need to stop being yourself or you're going to hell.
Yeah,
kind of
as,
thing. You know what I
as
mean?
though
Like,
it's
I'm
a
conflicted
choice
about it
of
a lot.
lifestyle. Yeah.
And like
So-
I battled with that. This is my official first coming out, I guess.
Yay!
No, like I did once already, but like not a lot.
All right.
I don't know. I put it on my close friends on Instagram. I was like, "Hey, it's June. It's Pride Month. I'm bi." because I finally like came to terms with that.
Good.
I was just like, you know what? I felt this. I've been struggling with this for a while, and I think I am. So kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, stuff like that. I'm just like, I can't back that. And there's just, and I know this isn't all Christians. I'm not trying to put every Christian person into a box.
I am. All right.
But yeah, like, that there's stuff like that I'm just like, I can't get behind that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And actually, speaking of August Burns Red, Jake from August Burns Red, vocalist Jake Lures? Is that his name? Okay,
yep.
yeah. I was getting him and the other guitarist mixed up for some reason, but
JB? Well, yeah. Jake is the most devout one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I think
August
him
Burns
and Matt.
Red.
I think him and Matt are the most devout ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was like a kind of a discourse for a while when they
kind of
said
stepped
that
away
they
from
didn't
it.
want to be a Christian band anymore.
They always will be.
Oh yeah, they still are, but like they're still
Like,
gonna
to
write about
me,
stuff like that.
yeah.
But like it's one of those things where it's like, because when I was younger, I was in a Christian metalcore band.
Mm-hmm.
We were terrible, but it was back in the youth group days.
And
so
it
like,
kind of doesn't matter because nobody can understand what the fuck you're saying.
Exactly,
Anyway.
yeah, it's
it
all-
may as well be like kill cops or
yeah, hell yeah.
yeah.
But like I remember like at that point we started out as a Christian metalcore band or like a Christian band, whatever. But we didn't want to be put in a box of like, we can only write about this type of stuff. We want to be able to write about other stuff as well. And so that's kind of how, I think that's what August Burns Red was doing as well. Like they didn't want to be put into a box where if they did anything that society thought wasn't Christian or whatever, they didn't want to be held into this box kind of thing, which makes sense. And
Yeah.
that's fair. I get it. But yeah, that's kind of how my Christian upbringing was, I guess. Did I answer that?
No, that was an awesome answer.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you. I'm an atheist, a friendly atheist.
Yeah.
So essentially, like, I believe that what I believe is that there really is no reason for this, and whatever
Fair.
happens after one passes, we're not meant to know.
That's
And but for people who do believe in God or do believe in religion, I'm all down for it if it enriches your life. But I can't get behind something that's responsible for genocides and wars.
Exactly, yeah. And that's kind of what I'm like, that's kind of going back to what I said. I'm just like, there's been a lot of there's been a lot of positives too. I'm not trying to, say that there isn't, but there's been so much negativity and bad things because of organized religion and for organized religion and about it. So like, it's I'm conflicted.
Thousands of years of war.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because, your God doesn't agree or you don't have the right way. It's like people came up with this stuff because they were tripping balls. Like burning bush.
They found like one mushroom. They're like, what is this?
Yeah, and then it's
I
like,
know the
the
universe
burning
now.
bush, yeah.
But yeah, like my girlfriend and I, like we both believe in everything, but like we're both kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's more like open, I guess. Like she's a better Christian than I am, I guess. Because I feel badly because I don't worship the devil. Just to clarify, I had to look in the camera for that. No, like I don't like worship the devil or anything like that. I have friends who are or were Satanists. They're like the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
I just really like the aesthetic and imagery of that stuff, which I'm also conflicted about that. Like I have a jacket that has like, it's from the last podcast on the left.
Oh, okay.
Shout
yeah,
out
yeah.
LPOTL.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I love that podcast. I got Evie's mom actually got me a jacket for Christmas from them, and it just has pentagrams on the buttons. I was like, that's sick. And I also have a hat from the Downbeat, another great podcast. Craig Reynolds.
Lots of podcast plugs.
Craig Reynolds from Straight from the Path.
Listen to Blow Jam podcast.
Blow Jam, is that
130? No, but
listen to the old ones.
2016 to 2020. So it was back when you had to explain what a podcast was to people. The good old days.
I saw this thing recently. It was. Never mind. I'll tell you later. I don't even remember exactly what it was, so I don't want to butcher it. But yeah, I have like a hat. The Downbeat logo. It's the drummer of Stray from the Path. Mm-hmm. So his logo is a pentagram made out of drumsticks. I think it looks cool.
That's pretty cool.
And I like the Downbeat, so I have a hat with the Downbeat logo on it, and it's just a pentagram on my forehead. And I'm like, I don't worship the devil. I just think this looks cool.
Yeah, you like the iconography,
aesthetic, and like visuals and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because it also just kind of goes into like metal and stuff like that. And I think that look kind of goes into like the death metal and black metal fonts and stuff like that. Which you mentioned something earlier about shirts. I really want to get last podcast. I really want to get Silly Goofy Podcast shirts.
Yeah.
I have one mocked up.
Okay.
My
I could put you in touch with a guy.
ooh, I know a guy.
All right. We got guys. We got t-shirt guys.
We both got guys. I just really
yeah.
winked really awkwardly. But no, I had an idea for like. Because, you know, like Blackcraft stuff, it has, like, a design or whatever, and then it's, like, just lines for a square or whatever, and then something in the middle. I'm basically just going to do that. I have the Silly Goofy podcast with, like, lines going down it, and Reggie actually gave me an idea, or he mentioned something, he's like, oh, that'd be funny if you did this, and I think he's going to design it for me. It's Goofy, like, you know, from, like, the Goofy movie and everything, but with black metal face paint.
That would work.
I love that. And then at the very bottom, I just had, like, in the box and off to the side, I cut out a portion and I wrote sample text because it's stupid. It's funny.
So I'll just plug some stuff.
Yes.
All right.
We had to pause for a second, but we're back now because we're going to stop. Yeah, we've just been rambling for a while. I apologize.
We're having a good talk.
Yeah.
And I hope to come back sometime.
Yeah, sure.
And we could do some comedy bits.
Yeah.
In the meantime, follow my YouTube channel. It's at Team Tooter, Delia Tooter. So on my YouTube channel, I repost all my TikTok live replays. And if you're just all about the farts in the comments or the timestamps for just the farts, follow me on... Oh, I'm not even talking into the mic. All right. Okay. Yeah, so follow me on YouTube at Team Tooter. Follow me on TikTok at Team Tooter. Be a tutor. And come to my mics, the Bundy Museum Annex Theater, every third Thursday of the month. We have a silly, goofy time. So thank you, John.
Don't you fucking dare.
I learned a lot about you.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is fun.
same. Yeah. Also, just had an idea. Second tutor. Instead of second suitor. That's so stupid.
No, that's actually perfect. We got to have a crossover.
Yes, I'm down. But yeah, Delia, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't totally stupid, but also if it was, it'll be funny.
It was silly and goofy.
Yeah, it was silly and goofy.
You delivered.
If there's one thing I do, it's deliver silly and goofy things. All right, but yeah, we're gonna hop off. Thank you again. Bye, everybody.
Stay tuned.
Like and subscribe and do all the things. I don't know. Help me make money to buy shirts.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.